I never imagined that a single phone alert could shatter the fragile boundaries of my carefully constructed life. 4 years, my days had passed in a predictable cadence, mornings punctuated by the steady routine of coffee and newspaper, days filled with work at a small marketing firm where I kept to my desk, and evenings spent in the quiet solitude of my modest apartment. My life was orderly, safe, and, by all outward appearances, satisfying. Yet beneath that veneer of routine, I'd long harbored a secret yearning for something more daring, something that would break through the monotony and awaken my hidden desires. I had convinced myself that the thrill of unpredictability belonged to others, until one chilly autumn evening, when a series of unexpected phone alerts confirmed a secret rendezvous that would upend everything I thought I knew. It happened on a day that started as unremarkably as any other. I was at work, hunched over my computer as emails piled up and deadlines loomed, when my phone vibrated with an alert I hadn't anticipated. The screen lit up with a message that read simply, "Your exclusive escape is confirmed. Meet at the Nocturne Lounge. Gourmet dinner awaits after midnight." At first, I assumed it was a spam message or a promotional notification from a travel site, but the elegance of the font and the precise wording made it seem far too deliberate, too sophisticated to be accidental. My heart began to race as I scrolled through a thread of similar alerts, each one cryptically confirming further details about a secret rendezvous. Another message followed. "Reservation complete, table for 2 at La Belle Nocturne, 12:05 a.m. Enjoy a gourmet dinner like no other." A third alert confirmed an exclusive hotel booking for later that night, providing the check-in time and even a subtle hint of luxury in its itemized receipt. I blinked, confused and exhilarated. I had never planned for any of this, and yet every message was as real and meticulously detailed as a reservation confirmation. My calendar was empty, there were no pending appointments for an escape. I was both terrified and inexplicably drawn to the mystery. For a long, silent moment, I stared at my phone, my mind swirling with 1,000 questions. Who was behind these messages? Was it an elaborate prank, or perhaps an anonymous admirer who had taken it upon themselves to shatter the confines of my predictable life? A part of me, the part that had longed for adventure but had always been too cautious to pursue it, whispered that this was the moment I had been waiting for. I could almost feel the pulse of possibility in those few carefully chosen words. With my heart pounding, I hesitated for only a moment before typing a simple yes in reply. The moment I sent that message, my phone buzzed furiously with a cascade of further instructions, each one more intriguing than the last. One alert reiterated the dinner details at La Belle Nocturne with an added note. "Arrive at your designated time. Dress elegantly. Let the night unveil its secrets." Another alert confirmed the hotel reservation at the Lux Aurora, stating, "Check in at 9:45 p.m. Your sanctuary awaits, luxury and privacy guaranteed." I felt as if my entire world had tilted on its axis. The very idea of abandoning my carefully regulated life to embrace a secret escape was both terrifying and exhilarating. My inner voice, long muted by routine, now roared with anticipation. I knew, deep in my bones, that I had been craving something beyond the safe, monochrome existence I'd led for so long. That very afternoon, I returned home with my mind ablaze with possibility. I sat on the edge of my worn-out sofa, the familiar surroundings suddenly transformed by the lure of the unknown. I reviewed the emails and text alerts repeatedly, committing every word to memory. I wondered about the identity of the sender. Was it a secret admirer who had been observing me from afar, or a mysterious entity that specialized in orchestrating clandestine escapes? The truth was obscured, yet the promise in those messages was undeniable. I was being offered a ticket out of the ordinary, a chance to experience a life of luxury, indulgence, and a taste of the forbidden. The decision was made in a heartbeat. I cleared my evening plans, canceling my usual dinner at home, and began preparing for what might be the most daring escape of my life. I opened my closet and scanned through my collection of dresses, searching for one that would capture the elegance and quiet rebellion I felt stirring inside me. My hand finally rested on a sleek, midnight blue dress, a garment I'd once admired in a boutique window but never dared to wear. I paired it with a tailored black blazer and a pair of stiletto heels that gave me an unexpected lift of confidence. In the mirror, I took a deep breath and applied a bold red lip, softening my eyes with a subtle touch of eyeliner. The reflection that stared back was not the timid woman I'd always been, it was someone reborn, a person ready to embrace every secret, every promise of passion. At precisely 7:30 p.m., I locked my apartment door and stepped out into the cool evening air. The city, typically a blur of familiar landmarks, now seemed transformed, its streets glistening with the anticipation of hidden escapades. I hailed a rideshare, and as the sleek, black car pulled up, I felt the surge of adrenaline that comes from stepping into the unknown. My phone buzzed with yet another alert from the encrypted thread, this time confirming the address of my first destination, Lux Aurora Hotel, an opulent resort known for its impeccable service and lavish accommodations. The ride itself was a surreal journey. I watched as the familiar suburban streets gave way to an upscale district bathed in soft, ambient light. The cityscape outside my window transformed into a mosaic of glistening skyscrapers and elegantly lit avenues. Every passing block was a silent reminder that I was leaving behind a life of safety and predictability, venturing into a realm where every moment promised a brush with luxury. After a ride that felt both swift and timeless, the car pulled up in front of Lux Aurora Hotel. The building was a modern marvel, a sleek, glass facade interlaced with subtle touches of classic elegance. A discreet sign on the wall simply read Lux Aurora, and as I stepped out into the cool night, I felt my heart beat faster with every step toward the entrance. I handed my bag to a polite valet, and was soon guided to the reception desk by a courteous attendant who greeted me with a warm, "Good evening, Ms. Langley." His voice, calm and refined, made me realize that every detail of this secret escape had been orchestrated with impeccable precision. I was given a sleek keycard and told, "Your reservation is confirmed. Please enjoy your exclusive stay." With a mix of nervous anticipation and a surge of exhilaration, I stepped into the private elevator. The ride upward was quiet, punctuated only by the soft hum of the elevator and the gentle glow of digital floor indicators. Each level felt like a step further away from my former life and closer to a world I had only ever dreamed about. When the elevator doors opened on the 12th floor, I stepped into a corridor that exuded refined sophistication. At the end of the hall, Suite 1207 awaited. I swiped my keycard and the door opened with a soft chime, a sound that now resonated like a herald of my newfound freedom. Inside the suite, opulence and privacy merged into a sanctuary that took my breath away. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed a panoramic view of the city, a sprawling, glittering tapestry that seemed to promise endless secrets and possibilities. The decor was a perfect blend of modern minimalism and timeless elegance, a sumptuous king-size bed adorned with crisp white linens, a cozy seating area arranged around a sleek coffee table, and subtle accents, a vase of fresh roses, a carefully chosen piece of art, that whispered of indulgence and personal care. I set my bag down and, for a long moment, allowed myself to simply be. I was here, in this luxurious retreat, and I had stepped into a world that was as seductive as it was mysterious. Barely had I settled in when my phone buzzed with a new alert. The message, equally encrypted, read, "Decadent dinner confirmed at La Nuit d'Emeraude. Arrive by midnight. Your forbidden rendezvous awaits." My pulse raced as I retrieved a second envelope from the bedside table. Inside was a handwritten note in elegant script. "Tonight, cast aside the ordinary. Savor every flavor and every secret. Let the night reveal its hidden pleasures." Every word was a promise, a challenge to leave behind the familiar and embrace a world of indulgence and mystery. My heart fluttered at the thought of the dinner, of a gourmet feast served in an environment of refined elegance, of an encounter so secret and intimate that it felt like stepping into a dream. I quickly refreshed myself in the suite's elegant bathroom, changed into a second outfit, a sleek, black dress with subtle lace detailing that exuded both sophistication and quiet rebellion, and rechecked my reflection in the mirror. I saw in that reflection a woman transformed, bold, graceful, and ready to embrace the forbidden. At 9:45 p.m., I left Suite 1207 with a mix of apprehension and excitement, my steps measured as I made my way to the hotel lobby. I hailed another rideshare, and as the sleek car navigated rain-kissed streets, I watched the city morph into a realm of hidden luxury. Every passing block felt like a gentle nudge away from the life I'd known, toward a future shimmering with possibility. I arrived outside La Nuit d'Emeraude, a grand, stately building with an ornate facade softly lit by ambient lights. The entrance, adorned with delicate ironwork and a discreet sign, beckoned me like a whispered secret. I stepped out into the cool night and pushed open the door, entering a dining room that seemed to exist solely for moments of exquisite indulgence. Soft, golden light bathed the room, and the gentle strains of a live piano wove through the low murmur of refined conversation. I was led to a reserved table in a secluded corner where every detail, crisp tablecloth, polished silverware, and a single red rose in a slender vase, spoke of elegance and the promise of intimate encounters. Taking my seat, I felt a heady mix of nervous excitement and anticipation. The first course arrived, a delicate amuse-bouche of truffle-infused mushroom tartlet, presented like a miniature work of art. Each bite was a burst of flavor that set my senses alight, as if the dish itself were a whisper of the forbidden. Course after course followed, a velvety lobster bisque that warmed my soul, a perfectly seared sea bass drizzled with a citrus reduction that danced on my palate, and finally, a dessert of caramel-infused creme brulee whose crackling top promised sweet indulgence beyond measure. With every morsel, I felt my old life receding, replaced by a vibrant surge of passion and possibility. Between courses, I stole glances around the room, half expecting to see a sign of the unknown man mentioned in the messages. Every subtle smile and discreet nod from the other diners seemed to confirm that we were all part of a clandestine society, a group of individuals daring to live beyond the mundane. The atmosphere was charged with a quiet intimacy, a shared understanding that tonight was a celebration of the hidden, the forbidden, and the beautifully extravagant. As the final notes of the piano faded and I savored the last spoonful of creme brulee, another alert buzzed on my phone. Your forbidden rendezvous awaits at the posh hotel bar. Proceed immediately. My heart pounded as I gathered my belongings, feeling the delicious ache of anticipation for the next chapter of this secret escape. I left La Nuit d'Emeraude with a blend of satisfaction and longing, stepping into the cool night with the memory of every exquisite flavor and whispered secret still vivid in my mind. I hailed a rideshare, and the journey back to Celestial Luxe Hotel was a quiet, reflective interlude, a time to absorb the magic of the evening as rain-washed streets and neon reflections blurred past my window. Every glimmer of light was a silent promise, a reminder that I was now part of a world where the extraordinary was possible. When the car finally pulled up outside the posh hotel bar, a secluded lounge nestled on an upper floor of the Celestial Luxe Hotel, I stepped out, my heart full of hope and trepidation. I made my way through the grand lobby and ascended to the exclusive bar, where the atmosphere was one of refined mystery. Soft, ambient lighting cast gentle shadows over plush seating and crystal glasses, and the subtle strains of jazz provided a soothing, intimate backdrop. I took a seat at a discreet corner of the bar, ordering a cocktail, a signature creation that balanced tart citrus, exotic spice, and a hint of the forbidden with each delicate sip. As I sipped slowly, I let the memories of the evening envelop me, the opulent stay at the hotel, the decadent dinner that had awakened my senses, and the quiet promise of a forbidden rendezvous that had already begun to reshape my soul. Every element of that night felt like a brushstroke painting a new, bold portrait of who I was becoming. I woke in a haze of early morning light, the soft glow of dawn filtering through my suite's floor-to-ceiling windows and casting long, gentle shadows across the plush carpet. The events of the previous night, those electrifying moments of secret luxury and whispered promises, still reverberated in my mind. I sat up slowly, letting the silence of the room cradle me as I tried to make sense of the transformation I'd experienced. The email confirmation, the discreet digital receipts, and the series of encrypted messages had all led me on an unexpected escape, an opulent retreat at Celestial Luxe Resort and an intimate, decadent dinner at La Nuit d'Emeraude. Now, as I sat alone with my thoughts, I realized that my life was irrevocably altered. For years, I had clung to a routine so secure it felt unassailable. I was content in my predictable existence, but deep within me, a quiet hunger for something more had always simmered beneath the surface. That one email, so elegantly crafted and mysteriously precise, had awakened me to possibilities I'd long suppressed. I remembered the moment I'd hesitated at my desk, heart pounding, as the words "Your exclusive escape is confirmed" flashed on my screen. In that instant, the world I thought I knew was dismantled piece by piece, and a new, uncharted realm beckoned. I spent the first hours of the morning rereading every detail on my phone, memorizing the careful cadence of each encrypted message. They were not just directions or confirmations, they were a series of gentle challenges, daring me to step out of the familiar and into a life of luxury and risk. My fingers trembled slightly as I recalled how, later that evening, I had responded with nothing more than a quiet yes, setting in motion an adventure that promised both opulence and intimacy. The suite itself was a vision, modern elegance combined with personal touches that suggested it had been prepared just for someone like me, a seeker of hidden truths and unspoken desires. I sipped a cup of steaming coffee as I gazed out at the city below, its skyline a glittering mosaic of possibilities. Every light, every flicker seemed imbued with the memory of secret rendezvous and whispered promises from the night before. I couldn't help but smile at the thought that even in the midst of a routine world, the extraordinary had found me. Determined not to let the magic fade with the morning, I dressed in a fresh outfit that mirrored the transformation I felt inside. Today, I chose a light, flowing blouse and a soft pastel hue paired with tailored trousers, a deliberate blend of sophistication and quiet daring. I applied a touch of makeup that enhanced my eyes and softened my features, and when I finally looked in the mirror, I recognized a person who had begun to embrace a hidden vibrancy within her soul. With a renewed sense of purpose, I left the suite and strolled down to the hotel's elegant lobby. The atmosphere was serene. A few early risers passed by in hushed conversation, their eyes reflecting a subtle understanding that life, too, could be extraordinary. I spent some time in the lobby cafe, savoring a light breakfast of freshly baked pastries and a perfectly brewed cappuccino, all the while reflecting on the lessons of the previous night. Every flavor, every aroma was a reminder of the decadent dinner at La Nuit d'Emeraude, where every course had been a revelation, a delicate interplay of art and indulgence that awakened parts of me I had long hidden. By mid-morning, a quiet restlessness urged me to explore beyond the confines of the resort. I decided to wander through a nearby art district, a part of the city I had always passed by without truly noticing its hidden beauty. The streets were narrow and lined with murals and sculptures that seemed to capture the vibrant spirit of rebellion against the mundane. I paused frequently, each time absorbing the textures and colors that danced in the interplay of urban light and shadow. In one corner, a vivid mural depicting a phoenix rising from its ashes struck a deep chord in me. I lingered, feeling that the painting was not just art, but a visual echo of my own rebirth, the shedding of an old self and the emergence of something daring and new. As I walked, I recalled the sumptuous details of the previous night with a sense of grateful wonder. I remembered the crisp elegance of La Nuit d'Emeraude's dining room, the soft candlelight, the delicate plating of each gourmet dish, and the quiet yet palpable electricity that had filled the space. I thought of Gabriel, whose gentle voice and sincere eyes had made me feel seen in a way I never had before. The memory of his whispered promise at the posh hotel bar, "May we continue to share in the beauty of the forbidden," echoed in my mind as I strolled along rain-kissed sidewalks, each step a deliberate act of reclaiming the self I had long hidden behind routine. By late afternoon, I found myself once again drawn to the privacy of my suite. I retreated to my writing desk, where I began to document my journey in my journal, detailing every sensation, every emotion that had surfaced during those transformative hours. I wrote about the taste of each exquisite course at La Nuit d'Emeraude, the lavish decor of celestial luxe, and the subtle, magnetic connection with Gabriel. My words poured out in a blend of raw vulnerability and fierce determination. In those lines, I captured the essence of a life being reborn, a life that was no longer defined solely by predictability, but enriched by secret escapes and daring indulgences. As evening approached once again, my phone vibrated with a new encrypted alert that sent a shiver of anticipation down my spine. Your journey is not complete. Tonight at 8 p.m., join us at the verdant atrium. More hidden wonders await. The message was succinct, yet it carried a promise that resonated deeply with the newfound courage that now thrummed within me. I hesitated only for a moment before replying, "I'm coming." That simple word felt like a declaration, a bold commitment to continue exploring the hidden depths of life's pleasures. I spent the remainder of the afternoon preparing for the next chapter of my secret escape. I chose an outfit that reflected the vibrant transformation I was undergoing, a flowing, emerald green dress that moved like liquid light with every step, paired with delicate silver jewelry that shimmered softly. I styled my hair into loose, graceful waves, and applied makeup that enhanced my natural radiance. Each detail was a quiet rebellion against the confines of the old me, a testament to the fact that I was ready for more, that I was no longer willing to live a life muted by routine. At 7:30 p.m., I stepped out into the cool night once again. I hailed a rideshare to the verdant atrium, a name that seemed to promise both nature and elegance, a secret venue where art and intimate conversation merged into one serene experience. The car ride was a reflective passage through rain-kissed streets, where every shimmering reflection in a puddle and every softly glowing street lamp reminded me that the extraordinary was hidden in plain sight. I felt as though I were being gently led from one realm of possibility into another. When the car pulled up outside the verdant atrium, a sleek, modern building tucked away in a quiet, upscale neighborhood, I stepped out, my heart thrumming with anticipation. I pushed open the door and entered a space that took my breath away. The atrium was a sanctuary of refined beauty, a harmonious blend of indoor gardens, contemporary art, and intimate seating areas bathed in soft natural light. The gentle sound of water trickling from a small fountain mingled with the low murmur of conversation, creating an atmosphere of calm intimacy. I was greeted by a discreet attendant who led me to a secluded table near a window that offered a view of a tranquil courtyard. The table was set simply, a vase with a single stem of fresh lilies and a softly flickering candle that cast delicate shadows on the polished surface. I sat down and allowed the serenity of the space to envelope me, each moment a gentle affirmation that I was exactly where I was meant to be. Throughout the evening at the verdant atrium, I engaged in quiet conversations with fellow guests, each sharing fragments of their own journeys, of the secret escapes they had taken in search of something deeper. A softly spoken artist named Marisol described how each clandestine encounter had ignited her creativity and set her soul alight with passion. A reflective writer named Dominic spoke of the liberating power of vulnerability, of how every secret rendezvous was a small, brave step away from a life of quiet resignation. Their words resonated in me, affirming that the path I had chosen was not merely a temporary diversion, but a profound transformation, a reclaiming of the parts of myself I had long been afraid to embrace. As the evening unfolded, I savored every delicate taste, the crisp freshness of a salad with heirloom tomatoes, the warmth of a velvety butternut soup, and the rich, complex flavors of a main course that celebrated the bounty of the season. Each bite was a sensory delight, a reminder that true luxury lay not just in opulent surroundings, but in the deep, visceral pleasure of living fully in each moment. When the final course, a light, fragrant dessert infused with rosewater, was served, I felt a quiet satisfaction settle over me. The verdant atrium had offered more than just a meal, it had provided an intimate space where the extraordinary was nurtured and shared among kindred spirits. I sat quietly, reflecting on the gentle strength I felt growing inside me, a strength born of embracing the forbidden and the unknown. As the night drew to a close, an encrypted alert arrived on my phone: your next secret awaits. Prepare to conclude your journey at the Axiom Lounge at 11 p.m. My heart fluttered at the promise of another chapter, a final encounter that might tie together the threads of this transformative weekend. I gathered my belongings with a mixture of longing and anticipation, leaving the verdant atrium with a sense of fulfillment tempered by the bittersweet knowledge that the journey was far from over. I hailed a rideshare to the Axiom Lounge, and as we drove through rain-smeared streets, I replayed every moment in my mind. The city, now illuminated by the gentle glow of twilight, seemed to pulse with the quiet energy of hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. Each passing street lamp, each glistening reflection in a puddle, was a reminder that my life had become a mosaic of clandestine adventures, a vivid, living testament to the power of risk and the beauty of vulnerability. When the car pulled up outside the Axiom Lounge, a sleek, unassuming building tucked away in a historic district, I stepped out with a deep, steady breath. The entrance was modest, with a small sign that read Axiom Lounge in refined lettering. I pushed open the door and entered a space that was dimly lit yet inviting, a lounge where soft jazz mingled with the quiet clatter of conversation, and where every detail exuded an air of understated elegance. I was led to a secluded table near a large window that overlooked a quiet courtyard. The table was set simply, a vase holding a single white orchid and a softly flickering candle that cast gentle patterns on the tablecloth. I took my seat and ordered a cocktail, a signature blend of tart citrus and exotic spice that seemed to encapsulate the promise of the night. As I sipped slowly, the memories of the weekend, the luxurious escapes, the intimate dinners, the whispered secrets, swirled in my mind like a gentle, powerful tide. Around me, the atmosphere was quiet and introspective, yet charged with the knowledge that every secret rendezvous, every forbidden moment, was part of a larger tapestry of transformation. I listened to snippets of conversation from other guests, their voices soft yet imbued with a sense of possibility. In that moment, I realized that this journey had become not just an escape from routine, but a reclamation of a self I had long believed was lost, a self that dared to love, to indulge, and to live with unabashed authenticity. When the clock finally neared 11 p.m., I felt a bittersweet thrill as I anticipated the final encounter of the night, a culmination of all that I had experienced over the past days. I spent the last few minutes in quiet contemplation, the soft strains of a live saxophone mingling with the gentle murmur of conversation, each note a reminder that life's most profound transformations are often born from risk and vulnerability. I closed my eyes, savoring the moment, and let my heart swell with a quiet, resolute hope for the future. I woke to a sky brushed with the soft blush of early morning, the gentle light filtering through the heavy curtains of my suite at Celestial Luxe Resort. In the quiet solitude of that moment, I felt as though the world outside had paused, a brief lull after the storm of passion and transformation that had redefined my existence. Over the past few days, encrypted messages had led me on a secret escape from the dull cadence of my routine into a realm of opulent luxury and decadent indulgence. Decadent dinner dates, hushed rendezvous, and whispered promises had painted my nights with colors I'd long forgotten. Now, I was determined to weave these memories into a final chapter of a journey that had awakened every fiber of my being. For months, my life had been an exercise in cautious routine. I rose with the same measured rhythm each day, a strong cup of coffee, a commute into a world of numbers and deadlines, evenings that melted into quiet solitude. Yet beneath that familiar surface, a secret hunger had always smoldered, an unspoken longing for the extraordinary. When that first encrypted email landed in my inbox, its subject line proclaiming, "Your exclusive escape is confirmed, luxury stay and elegant rendezvous," it felt as if the universe had finally decided to shatter the walls I'd so carefully constructed. I had responded hesitantly, with a single word, and in that moment, everything changed. I remember the exhilaration of that first evening. The rideshare that carried me through rain-kissed streets as the city transformed before my eyes, the opulent check-in at Celestial Luxe Resort, where every detail, from the polished marble floors to the hushed greetings of the staff, spoke of refined secrecy, the sumptuous suite that opened onto a breathtaking skyline, and then, the second message, confirming a decadent dinner date at La Nuit d'Emeraude. I had spent that evening in a world of whispered conversation and gourmet wonders, where each course was not just a meal but an artful exploration of taste and emotion. I savored every bite as though it were a secret key unlocking a hidden part of my soul, and as I looked around the candlelit room, I realized I was no longer living the life I'd always known. In the luminous, intimate atmosphere of La Nuit d'Emeraude, I had encountered fleeting glances that promised hidden connections and the intoxicating possibility of forbidden love. I remember the soft strains of the piano that filled the air, mingling with quiet laughter and the gentle clink of fine crystal. Every detail was a brushstroke on a canvas of elegance and mystery. And then, in the hushed intimacy of a posh hotel bar, I met him, Gabriel. His presence was magnetic, his eyes deep and soulful, and his voice carried the warmth of someone who understood the beauty of living beyond the mundane. When he whispered, "May we continue to share in the beauty of the forbidden," it was as if a dam had burst within me, releasing long-contained dreams and desires. That night, every moment became a declaration of rebellion against the predictability that had once defined me. Every shared smile, every tender word, was a step toward a life lived boldly, unapologetically. I began to realize that the encrypted messages, the digital receipts, and the secret invitations were not isolated anomalies but signposts on a transformative journey. They had ushered me into a world where the extraordinary was not the exception but the very essence of existence, a realm where each clandestine escape was a key to unlocking the hidden, vibrant self that lay dormant for far too long. In the days following that fateful weekend, I felt an irreversible change ripple through my daily life. The mundane routine, the predictable coffee ritual, the humdrum commute, the solitary evenings, began to shimmer with hidden possibility. I started to see beauty in the smallest details, the way the rain danced on the pavement, the gentle laughter shared in a crowded cafe, the glint of sunlight on a rain-soaked window. Every ordinary moment held the promise of something extraordinary, a secret invitation to rediscover life's forgotten passions. I found myself venturing beyond my usual haunts. I wandered through vibrant art districts, where murals and sculptures spoke of defiance and raw emotion. I explored quaint bookshops and tucked-away cafes, each one a tiny portal into a world of untold stories and whispered secrets. Conversations with friends grew deeper and more candid, as I shared fragments of my clandestine journey. Their eyes widened with curiosity and quiet envy, and I sensed that many harbored their own secret dreams of escape. In these moments, I realized that the transformation I'd undergone was not mine alone. It was a universal call to embrace vulnerability and live boldly. Then, one crisp afternoon, as I strolled through a quiet park lined with ancient oaks and delicate wildflowers, my phone buzzed with another encrypted alert. The message read, "Your next chapter awaits. Tonight at the Elysium Terrace, be prepared for a meeting that could change everything." A shiver ran through me. The Elysium Terrace was a name I had heard whispered among those in exclusive circles, a hidden rooftop oasis where the boundaries between reality and dream blurred into a delicate dance of light and shadow. I paused under a sprawling oak, the gentle rustling of leaves a quiet reminder that life, too, was ever-changing. I responded with a resolute, "I'm coming," feeling the familiar thrill of anticipation. That evening, I prepared once again for another secret escape. This time, I chose an outfit that spoke to the evolution of my spirit, a flowing, sapphire gown that moved like liquid silk with every step, paired with minimalist silver jewelry that caught the light in delicate flashes. As I applied a fresh layer of makeup and styled my hair into soft, cascading waves, I marveled at the person I was becoming, a woman no longer afraid to reveal her true self, who embraced every hidden desire with courage and grace. At 7:30 p.m., I left my apartment with a quiet determination and hailed a rideshare to the Elysium Terrace. The car's interior was a cocoon of soft music and reflective silence, and as we drove through the city's transformed streets, rain-kissed avenues shimmering under the glow of street lamps, I felt as though I were traveling toward destiny. Each moment felt imbued with purpose, each mile a gentle reminder that I was no longer confined by the safe limits of routine. When the car finally pulled up outside the Elysium Terrace, a sleek, modern building tucked away in a historic district, I stepped out into the cool night, my heart pounding with anticipation. I pushed open the door and entered a rooftop oasis unlike any I had ever seen. The terrace was an intimate, ethereal space, bathed in soft, ambient lighting that cast intricate patterns across lush potted greenery and elegant seating arrangements. From the large, panoramic windows, the city sprawled out beneath me like a glittering tapestry, a visible reminder that the world was vast and full of hidden wonders. I found a quiet table in a secluded corner and ordered a cocktail, a signature drink with the perfect balance of tart citrus, subtle spice, and a whisper of something forbidden. As I sipped the drink slowly, I allowed the sensory richness of the moment to seep into my soul. I reflected on the journey that had brought me here, the email that had shattered my routine, the clandestine dinners that had awakened my taste for the extraordinary, and the forbidden rendezvous that had ignited a spark within me. Each encrypted message, each digital receipt, was a marker of my rebirth, a testament to the power of embracing the unknown. Surrounded by the soft murmur of voices and the gentle rustle of a cool evening breeze, I began to think about the man who had first set this journey in motion. His identity had been hidden behind layers of cryptic hints and tantalizing promises, but in the intimate settings of secret escapes, I felt an unspoken connection that transcended mere anonymity. I wondered if, in time, I might uncover his true self, and if that discovery, like all others, would further transform me. As the night deepened and the cool breeze carried whispers of forgotten dreams, I sat there at my table at the Elysium Terrace, writing down every delicate detail in my journal. I recorded the taste of the exquisite cocktail, the way the ambient light painted intricate shadows on the walls, and the gentle cadence of a city that now held infinite possibility. Every word was a quiet celebration of a life transformed, a declaration that I had begun to live boldly, to seize every secret invitation, and to cast aside the fear of the unknown. I realized that these clandestine escapades were not fleeting moments of rebellion but rather the first notes of a grand symphony, one that was composed of hidden passions, delicate vulnerabilities, and the unyielding pursuit of authenticity. Each secret luxury, each decadent dinner, each whispered rendezvous had chipped away at the confines of the life I had once led, revealing a radiant, unrestrained self that I now embraced with open arms. As midnight approached and I prepared to leave the Elysium Terrace, a quiet anticipation filled me. I knew that my journey was far from over. With every secret escape, every encrypted message, I was slowly rewriting the narrative of my life. I was learning to trust in the beauty of vulnerability, to celebrate the exquisite magic that lay hidden beneath everyday routine, and to step boldly into a future where every forbidden moment was a cherished part of who I was becoming. With a final glance at the shimmering cityscape and a deep, steady breath, I closed my journal. I felt an unwavering resolve settle within me, a promise that I would continue to follow the encrypted paths laid out before me, that I would embrace every secret invitation, and that I would live a life illuminated by the extraordinary. The forbidden, the luxurious, and the deeply intimate were no longer just dreams, they were my reality.